Once again, life interrupted. I had great plans laid out and was going to get everything done, and then life interrupted us. So let's pick up where we left off. Hi, I'm Kelly, and welcome to Kelly's Creative Dream Studios. And last time we got together, I had taken single sheets of book pages and seamed them with a 1-inch strip, wide strip of other book page to create a good full page. Now I saved that for some reason, so we'll find out later. So this morning I sat and I got all the rest of these done up, and I'm going to go ahead and fold these while I talk. I've also gone through with the tear ruler and done the edges, and they should all come out relatively close because I wanted to make sure that I had these done. So I'm going to fold these as we talk. Oh, that one's going to have to be fixed. I had intended, I got the videos done up through the conference. The conference was amazing. I learned so much and made some good friends in the industry. I'm an author, published author, and I'm working on another book. And let me see what I did with, I just had it, there it goes. So that was good. I got home last Tuesday, and in the process of working on trying to get stuff caught up on Wednesday, I managed to pop a couple of ribs. Now, it's an old injury, and so those things are going to happen. I just didn't need them to happen the minute I got back from conference and wanted to dive back into work. Now, because I've seen this one and it's fresh, I'm going to set this one aside and let it dry. So this is like day 9 of me healing from my crushed ribs and cracked ribs. Old injury. I bent over to get something out of the bottom of the washing machine and managed to put the edge of the washing machine between the ribs 3 and 4 on the right hand side. And so that put me out of commission. No bending, no lifting, none of that fun stuff to getting anything done. Lots of time in bed with pain meds, lots of time sitting at the table, reading books or playing games with Bob. And I'm still on pain meds, but nothing drastic. And as long as I remember that I cannot be bending over, I think I'll be okay. I have to take a road trip to Illinois this week, later in the week, and so I've been trying to be really, really good so that I don't injure myself and not be able to make the trip, because I'm going up to see a dear friend that I've not seen in 14 years. I thought it was longer than that, but she assured me it's been 14. So yeah, so I'm trying to get ahead and get some stuff done before I leave. And I'm being careful about how I move, because I know that it's just something I got to do. Once you injure something, it becomes a contention of how you have to do things from that point on. And I wasn't paying any attention, and I mean, I heard it pop. And even yet, I'm still having some problems. I'm wearing out easy. So I do things and then I take a break. Sit and play my game on my iPad. Then I get up and do something else, and then I take a break. Okay. It's not going to take me long to go through and do the rest of these really quick. So that's me in a nutshell. Everything that I had planned to do when I got back from my conference went right down the washing machine drain. But for those of you who've known that I had the injury, I am doing better. Advil Dual is a wonderful product. I just have to remember that once the Advil Dual kicks in and I'm not in as much pain, that doesn't mean that I can start doing stuff that I shouldn't be doing. So Bob has been an absolute dream. He's learning just how much I do around here because I've had to have him lift stuff. I've had to have him bend over and do stuff. And the very first time I injured these ribs was several years ago. I slipped on a slushy patch of grass and went down hard. I did that like within a couple of hours of him leaving out for the boat. So I had no help here, and I had to do all the things that I shouldn't have been doing. But it's what I do. People who know me know that. And then the second time I injured it, Bob was already out on the boat. He had about a week left to go, and by the time he got home, I was doing so much better that it wasn't really even an issue. This time he was home when I did it. And he got to see firsthand that this is all the stuff I was doing that I shouldn't have been doing when I did it last time. Now if you'll notice, these book pages are really old, and like this one here has a little bit of a tear to it, and that's something that I will reinforce by doing a pocket. So, but for now I have all of these, and I'm going to do these in stacks of 2. I know I always do 3 signatures. What am I thinking? And I may switch them out and do 3. I just wanted to see how many I had in here. I'm just afraid that doing one big signature might be too much. So let's pull these out in sections of 2 and see what happens. There's 2. Let's see, I want to do 3. Let's do 2. 2 there, 2 there. I'm going to move these over here, and I've got to do 2 more in this one. And then I'll be 1, 2, 3. So yeah, we can do 3 signatures. That will work. So since I'm leaving, and I will get back the day before the end of the month, I wanted to make sure that I have the Junk Journal Junkies challenge finished so that I can post the final video when I get home. And the reason I'm doing these as separate signatures is because remember we reinforced these pages, and so that's adding extra bulk to that spine, and that would really create some issues trying to put everything together. So what I'm going to do, I decided this is what I want to use for my cover. And I'm going to start by taking the front of this off because, see, I don't need all this room. But if you'll notice, there's a gusset here. And I don't know if you can see that, but these folders have a gusset. And I'm going to make use of that gusset to do this. If I can make this bend, I'm trying. There we go. So I've got that on that first gusset fold, and I'm going to really crease that down. And then I'm going to use this, and this is going to become my spine for my journal, okay? So, with that spine being there, I can take this down to roughly, let me do this way. Let me lay this in there, and let's lay this one in here, and that's going to become my benchmark. And of course, of all the things in here, I thought I had a pencil handy, and I see everything but a pencil in there. I really don't want to use a pen. Let me grab a pencil really quick. Remember the little pop pencils from the 70s? Okay, so I know I'm going to want this to come out this way. So we'll let that be my measure. But So I've got that crease, so I think I'm good with going ahead and taking it off all the way. Just the way it is. Just like that. Okay. And then this one, these are, I don't want to lose my cap to my pencil. I want to leave about a 1/2 inch. So let's cut this down to 8. And I know I'm going to be cutting it down some more from there. Well, actually, let's do it this way. Let's do it this way. We have, it's 7. So if we cut this off at 8, we should be fine. So we're going to cut that off, just like that. We have pieces of that we can use. And then when I fold this in, get all of them here. And they'll fit right in that spine, just like that. And we can actually take that off another inch. How wide were these? These are 5, so we only need this to be like 5.5. So we can measure that right there. And that'll be about perfect. That'll be about perfect. Okay, so now that we've got this done, and we know how big this is going to be, one of the things I want to do is I'm going to do this like a traveler's notebook. So there will be a hole pierced in the center here to run my string through so that it just wraps around and clasps. So before I can do that, what I want to do is, because the book page has been the theme, I want to totally cover this in book paper. So I'm going to lay this contact sheet open, just like that. And it really needs to be about half that. So let's do that. I'll have to come in tomorrow and clean everything up. Everything's hanging into my t-shirt over here off the end of the table. I don't want to take it. Make this a little more manageable. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to masterboard this cover in the book pages, and then the cover itself will be adorned with the stuff from the digitals. So let me get into the book pages here and see if I can find some more. And I'm going to tear them up a little bit. I don't want them to be so uniform. Okay. So that they're going different directions, and as I said, the rib cage thing is creating some issues. I get winded easily. So I'm going to take and whip that off a little bit. And I think I just want to get this torn edge out of the way. And I've got that on a couple of them where it came out of the spine of the book. I need to get my trash can back over here instead of over by my work table for when I'm doing projects like this. Okay, we've got that out of here. And now I have my glue, and I have my silicone spreader, because that's going to let me put glue on here. Now I don't have a lot of luck with using this. I'd rather squeegee the glue on and then spread it myself. So I'm going to, remember, this will spread, so, and I'm just going to go over it like that. And then I can go like this, and I can spread the glue over. Okay, get the kitty hair out of there. And then I'm going to tear it. there's 2 pages there. So we'll hang on to that. And let's so I'm starting to get things. I can't believe actually that we are in the end of Q2. It just boggles my mind that we are going into July. Does anybody have any big plans for summer? Mine was to see how much of this chaos I could get cleaned up, but apparently my body had other plans. And I might not be doing all I had hoped to get done. I'm really glad I didn't plant a big garden this year, because now's when I'd need to be out there working in it, and that was not going to be an option. I would at least like the pages to be kind of straight. And so I've got a few tomato plants, and I have volunteer watermelon. And for the first time in 14 years, it appears as if we might actually get peaches off of our trees. That's been interesting. We've never had that option before. Well, I take that back. We did a couple of years. One year we were leaving for my brother-in-law's, and Bob looked over and the trees were just loaded. It's like, great, we'll pick peaches when we get home. Well, something else had picked our peaches before we could get back home. I have a feeling between the deer and the raccoon and the squirrels, that was going to be it. So we didn't get any peaches that year. And then about 7 years ago, we got some peaches, except Bob was out on the boat and he didn't get any. The girls and I split 1 peach. One. All we got was 1 peach. I really wanted that to stay there. I should have just left it and tore it off, huh? So now we have peaches. And between the hail and everything else, we very well could get to keep peaches this year. I'm really excited for that. But that's going to be the extent of our garden this year. This fall, I want to work out there and get the beds ready so I can have a really good garden next year and start getting some things caught up. And you know, I could have just done this all in one big sheet, but I wanted the look of this. I wanted the look. And once I start layering the other stuff over top of it, it's not going to make any difference of how everything's running. I want to put something here. Let's come back in with this one. And put it right there. And the other thing is by layering this, it's going to really, once this dries, it's going to be really sturdy for a cover. And I like that idea. And then I need a little spot right here. And we'll have this side done. Oh, I got little up here. Yep, almost cut that one too small. Let's go a little bit bigger. There we go. There we go. So there's one side. Now after everything dries, I'll come back and I'll see what's not glued down good, like here. And I'll come back and I'll reinforce that. And you know, I'm working with glue, so I'm wearing a good portion of this glue. Because I always do. Now I want to put... Now I'm not worried about this little gap up here, but it kind of bugs me. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get that covered up. But like when you're doing your chipboard, this will really allow you to stiffen up your project by doing this. I'm going to take this. I'm just going to trim it off a little bit. I'm not going to get precise right now. I'll wait till it's dry before I come back and really trim it up. I just want to get pieces out of the way so they're not catching on me. Okay, now we have this side to do. And I want to make sure that goes up to that edge good. And I think I'm going to go like this and make that sure that comes down that way. And because remember, this is on the spine, and part of the spine is going to get covered up anyway when I do my trims on the spine. I want to take, I'm trying not to get you out of frame here, and stay on my paper. Woohoo! I ordered 6 new bottles of glue, so I can use as much glue as I want. I could not find any glue in this house, in this craft room, and so I wound up ordering glue from Amazon. And this morning I was moving stuff around, and guess what I found? I found glue. Okay, now I'm going to take that one and tear it off. I'm going to put that one right there. And I'm stuck. I'm stuck. It happens. It's me. It really is. That's still pretty sticky. So let's go ahead, take that off of there. Now, if I'd have wanted, I could have added more dimension to this by distressing the edges of the paper. So I had some black lines in here. I could have done that. And I'm going to take, see if I can tear this off, because I don't want all of that open space. I also don't want the paper all over my fingers. So let's go here and spread this down. And if you get a little air pocket in there, just press it with your finger. It'll go away. I think I want to come down here with this, here. And then, not big enough, not big enough. Now this is the first time I've done something like this for a cover, and I'm really excited to see how it turns out. And I hope, I'm leaving Thursday for that trip to Illinois, and I won't be back until Monday, so I'm hoping I can get this finished and get the final flip through video done before I leave Thursday. I'm going to try. Okay, I don't know if I want this one there. I don't think so. I want that to turn loose on my finger. That one could be big enough, but I think I want to take this one. And I want to get rid of the paper around the edge. And that one will work. That one will work. And we're going to take and trim this off right here. Just like that. Now I do want to do a couple other embellishment things for this. So hopefully next week I can show you some of those. But I got a little piece there that's driving me crazy, so I'm going to put that right there and brush over it with the glue. So basically all we've done is we have decoupaged a piece of file folder that is going to become the cover for this Junk Journal Junkies journal. So that's going to do it for me. I will try to get the follow-up for this done before I leave so it can post on Monday. In the meantime, if not, it'll be the following week, I promise, because I'm trying to get projects out of the way. And I've been making progress on the studio for the first time in months, so I'm really excited about that. So in the meantime, please tell me, have you done an all book page cover before? And if so, would you have done something different? Thanks for joining me in the studio today. Please remember to like, to share, subscribe, and I will be back here tomorrow with another Tag Tuesday. Creative blessings.